welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. You got it, YouTube. Thanks so much for that lovely reminder. Hello, one person. How are you this evening? Yo, Brian Home. Good evening, Chasing Life. Hello, Just Nuts. Hello, Stevie Lynn is girl. Stevie Lynn is girl. Brian Fatherlos. What is that name? Fatherlos? Fatherlos. Aloha, Alan. David Boswell, what's going on, man? Every time, Stevie Lynn is girl. Every time. It does not change. She does not, surgery was not successful. She's still girl. He's still girl. She has innie parts, not outie parts. Sister Francis, hello, shalom. Good to see you. Where's the thumbs up button? Right here, sucker. All right. Sheepdog Patriot, what's going on? I blitzed the G21 because you're welcome. No lie, you're welcome. Rodeo time, gotta miss this one. Can of Beans, what's going on, man? PNW, what's going on, man? North Florida, Derek Gilbert, shalom. Question mark? Question mark, what are we questioning? Georgia is here. Shalom to all. Oh, you didn't say that. What's up, brother? Question mark. It's my birthday. Thank you for live streaming. You're welcome. All right, everybody on three. Are we ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, double knife hands to you. Happy birthday, dear Chasing Life. I hope you have a tremendous birthday. Mexico's going to pay for it. Hashtag build the wall. Happy birthday to you. You're welcome. Marlo's here. Marlo likes to sing as well. When we get to 100 people, we're going to start this thing. 94. Come on. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. And many more. Exactly. Birthday knife hands. How are you going to cut the cake? Knife hand. 98 people. One more. 102, and let's go. All right, so I asked in a Q&A earlier on the community portion of the YouTubes, Aname, Shalome, about the who wants to talk about what. And so I wrote down 4 topics that we'll address them. We'll dance around all over the place, and we'll touch on several. But I thought it was a good cross-section of questions. So thank you to everybody who asked the questions. And then we'll take it from there. So here are the questions, and then we'll jump right in. Ryan A. said, what do you do after you bust out your IFAC, okay? After your TCCC, after Care Under Fire, you've gotten the person to the aid station, now what? That's a phenomenal question, which we will address to the best of my ability. Aaron Alexander, roger that. Bob Brown said, the importance of being able to grow your own crops and harvest your own meat. Legionary 9 said, fitness. One word, fitness. Like I'm fitting this entire pizza into my mouth. And then Brandon Green said, what do we do when all the jobs get automated? We're all stuck on universal basic income, and there's very little need for workers. So, yeah, and you asked about flooding in Nebraska. The long and short is I don't know a whole lot about flooding in Nebraska other than there's a lot of flooding in Nebraska right now, and people can't get in and out. And then we'll come back. We're going to do the commenty things in a little bit. We're going to ask you guys to be patient in the comments as far as throwing me questions so that we can address these 4 first. Then after we do these 4, we'll come back around and we'll talk to the room, okay? So, here we go. We'll start with Legionary 9, fitness and SHTF. Okay, I can't look at the comments. Fitness and SHTF. Yeah, I just designed a shirt today. Hard people are stronger to kill and are generally more useful. Not my quote, it's Mark Rapato, I think is his name. So, anyway. Yeah. Should you be fit for SHTF? Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of people that say, well, carrying around a little gut is good so that you don't starve to death and die as quick. Well, I carry around a little gut anyway, but that's mostly because of beer. But these days anyway. But yeah, I think fitness is really important. So, okay, cool story. Now what do we do? So I ruck, okay? So, and here, we can do this. Stand by. Oh yeah. This is my ruck. 60.5 pounds of goodness. And I carry this ruck, depending on the day, minimally 1.6 miles, maximally 3.2 miles, okay? So it's 60.5 pounds, average 2.4 miles. That's what I do with this ruck. And then I also carry, while I'm doing that, this rifle, which is almost a 10-pounder recce rifle. And sometimes one of these, sometimes one of them, just depends, okay? So I ruck, okay? And some days I ruck, or some weeks I ruck 6 days a week. Some days I ruck 2 days a week. It depends on life and what's going on with my life at the moment. Yeah, we have thoughts on cat tourniquets. Have as many as you can possibly afford. So, but my average loadout when I'm rucking is anywhere between 70 and 97 pounds, depending on what I'm wearing. And I do that about 2.5 miles up to 6 days a week. Then I also do calisthenics. And so by calisthenics, that means like moving your body weight around. So I do push-ups, crunches, leg lifts, and the occasional pull-ups. Truth be told, my shoulders aren't that great anymore, and I'm really too heavy to be doing pull-ups right now anyway, which is why I'm rucking. So, but when I do them, I do 100 push-ups, 125 crunches, and 100 leg lifts. So, Aaron James, that's phenomenal. So, yeah, I mean, why should you do all this, right? How much does your bug out bag weigh? I've met people with 97-pound inch bags. Can you throw them over your shoulder and go? You're going to be dead within 100 yards. You're going to be having a heart attack. So that matters, right? That matters a lot. The other thing that I do, right, is I homestead. Kurt, my ruck right now is about 20% of my body weight, a little more than 20% of my body weight. But when I'm fully loaded out, I'm over a third of my body weight. So, oh my gosh, the comments just, they're so distracty. I'm doing this for a minute. What's up, Julie Winston? So, right here, okay, cool. I hit the button. I didn't hit the button. Hit the button. There we go. So I'm rucking, I'm doing calisthenics, and then I do homesteady things. And then there's like opportunities to exercise while you're homesteading. I was running field fence recently. 150-foot roll of field fence has got to be 150 pounds-ish, somewhere in, or I'm sorry, 330-foot roll of field fence. 150-ish pounds. So I'm dragging those 50 yards at a clip. Right? Because if your buddy gets shot, right? Now, I'm telling you, man, most of my buddies weigh more than $150, and then they got all their gear on. Somebody's got to drag them, care under fire, which we're going to get to here in a hot minute. But, by the way, prototype for the Bear Fac, this kit will not be available. This is a one-off. We changed some things, but yeah, super cool. All right, Ruck, you got to go on the floor for a minute. Daddy needs his spot back. Oh, and I dropped a card. The best show ever. It's tremendous. Believe me, believe me. So yeah, why does fitness matter, right? Well, are you going to bug out? How far can you ruck? How quickly can you do a mile in your gear? Can you run in your gear? Mobility is prime in a tactical situation, right? You don't want to be, you don't want an 80-pound line two, and then when it's time to do the things, right? You shoulder your weapon, and you're like, I'm gonna die. Yeah, you are gonna die, right? So you need to be able to do the things. You need to be able to do the things, which is why calisthenics, rucking, body weight movements, and homesteading is kind of like, if you approach it as such, it's almost like crossfitting. Pick it up, put it down, drag it, throw it, jump it, push, pull, like moving wrestling stuff. You know, just farmers carries. There's a reason it's called a farmer carry. It's because farmers carry things that way. And so part of homesteading is doing the farmery thing. So should you be fit for SHTF? My answer is yes. Strong people are harder to kill and are generally more useful. So just did a t-shirt on that. It'll be live in a day or two. Actually, I think I'm going to make it live April 1st. I'll post it when it's ready to go. But it's up there. It's sitting there. It's at the link. So that's the fitness aspect. Hi, Jim. Jim Survival. Good to see you. Shalom and welcome. And then, so that kind of ties into Bob Brown, the importance of being able to grow your own crop and harvest your own meat. So here's the deal, right? Hi, Kimberly. Doing the wavy hand. The idea behind that is you can only store so much food, right? And so depending on what situation you find yourself in, being able to produce your own food, I think, is really important. That's why, I mean, we're here for a reason. This is not accidental. We did not accidentally end up on the homestead, right? This is intentional. We intentionally left our suburban 3-bedroom, 2-bath on a third of an acre in a nice neighborhood in North Texas, paying exorbitant taxes. We purposefully left that so that we could come here. And the reason we wanted to be here was so that we could shift from consumerism to producing as many of our own inputs and utilizing as many of our own outputs as possible. Because then things get repeatable, right? If you build the infrastructure and you work it, it gets repeatable. You want more cows? You let the cows, let them do that and you get more cows. You want more hay? Cut the hay that's there and more hay will grow. Or cut the hay in that field, or graze the cattle on that field, and they'll fertilize it, and you'll get a better yield next year around. And I'm simplifying here quite a bit, but point being that you need room to develop these systems. You need land to do it. So I think it's vitally important that you can produce your own food. Now, what we store predominantly nowadays, what I'm bucketing right now is grains, because grains are labor intensive, and I really intend to take advantage of factory farming right now to put up as many grains as possible right now, because for me to go grow rice, I don't know the first damn thing about growing rice. I can grow corn, cool. I could probably grow wheat, but threshing wheat, that's a whole nother story. I don't have a threshing floor. I don't have a place to do that. I would figure it out. I mean, I could convert this area that I'm standing into a threshing floor if I wanted to, if I needed to. Don't really want to do that. So forth and so on. So we are stockpiling grains like whoa right now, because I think that with the weakening of the American dollar, with the geopolitical BS that's going on, and with crop failures, known crop failures, food's just going to get more expensive. So if it's going to get more expensive, and if I do my job properly when I bucket and it'll last 25 years, why not put it in buckets now if I can afford it? So, that's kind of my benchmark right there. I feel like I haven't done my job if I haven't put up at least 10 buckets a month. And some months I put up 2 or 3 times that. So just cause, because food is power. So I think it's vitally important that at some point you transition from just consuming to producing, whatever that is. And that's, even in North Texas, we produced 40% of all of our calories off of 1/3 of an acre, our backyard. We had meat rabbits, meat chickens. We had a garden. We had fruit trees. We had berry bushes. We had nut trees. We even had row crops in our backyard. We had ducks for a while, all in the backyard, and doing the permaculture things, and all in a closed loop. Compost pile, raised beds, the whole nine, and it was a blast. And I probably spent 10 hours a week, maybe, probably closer to like 6 or 7 hours a week working on it, because it was maybe an hour a day, except for like Sundays where I'd spend two, just kind of maintaining the system. But we made a lot of food. 40% of a family of five, which would be two people, two adults worth of food just out of our backyard. And I know this because I know what we were spending on groceries, and we reduced our grocery bill by 40% just out of the backyard. So, yeah, thank you, Bob Brown. I think that's a great question. And how do I value food production? I think it's phenomenal. I think that's kind of tier one preparedness, is transitioning to where you produce as many of your own inputs as possible, because that removes you from the system as much as possible. Freedom, what you know as freedom right now, I think is going to go away. And then as we experience freedom going forward, it's going to be entirely dependent upon your ability to provide for yourself versus somebody else providing for you. It's maintaining independence from this broken system that we all know is going to hell in the handbasket anyway. So, cool. That's Bobby Brown. I don't think it's Bobby Brown actual, although that'd be interesting if it was. Live chat. We're back to live chat. Whole feed corn for humans, Michigan prepper. You're talking about dent corn. There's dent corn and there's sweet corn. We're going to do just a quick question on this. There's dent corn, and then there's sweet corn. Sweet corn you can eat right off the cob. Hey, Puzzle Man! So you can eat it right off the cob. Dent corn you cannot. It has to be processed. But understand this, the vast majority of corn that you eat every day is processed anyway. So Google nixtamalization. Nixtamalization. So, Aaron Alexander, why? Are you here just to be rude? All grain corn. Yeah. All grain corn. Nixtamalization. Okay. You want masa? Dent corn's fine. You want to make tamales? Dent corn's fine. You want to grind it up and make cornmeal? Yep. All the things, all the corn products, corn oil, corn syrup, corn flour, corn meal, corn starch, corn, other than that's all dent corn. Corn liquor, yeah, whiskey. So it's fine for human consumption, asterisk, you need to process it, okay? So if you want to eat it off the cob, you need sweet corn. You cannot, the endosperm, which sounds like the kind of word that would get you demonetized on YouTube, but the endosperm on the outside of dent corn is too thick for your body to really enjoy, okay? Also, nixtamalization frees up a lot of iron and trace minerals in corn that otherwise you would not be getting. So, yeah, no rickets. That's exactly right. Paladimabura. Paladinamabura. That's your name now. Paladinamabura. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. What else we got here? Brandon Green asked, jobs getting automated, universal basic income. Minimal need for workers. Now what? Desert Wanderer, what's up, man? All right. Heat the button. I heat the button. Jobs get automated, universal basic income. Now what do we do? This to me is a pretty likely slow slide scenario. What do you do? I would figure out a way right now to monetize. And I talk to my professional clients. We talk about it regularly. And in fact, I have something I can draw on right now. So I'm gonna do the circle thing. There's 3 circles. Um, all right. So you're gonna have to deal with a horrendous drawing done on the cuff. But here's the deal, okay? Wow. All right. What do you like to do? What do you know how to do? And what are you good at? Like to do, know how to do, and you're good at. Right here where they all overlap, that's your sweet spot. Okay? That's your sweet spot. What do you like to do? If you don't like doing it, why keep doing it? What do you know how to do? If you don't know how to do it, there is a barrier to entry there. Now you can get education. I really want to be a underwater basket weaver. Okay, you can get a degree in that. Okay, and what are you good at? What do you have a natural aptitude for? Those three things where they overlap, that's your sweet spot. Monetize your sweet spot and start figuring that out now. We have a lot of OTR truck drivers, and we also have day drivers as well that follow this channel. I love it, man. Give me a 379 long hood with a twin turbo, dude. 18 speed, good to go for the next decade, maybe. And that's a real thing, right? And that's kind of like that hashtag learn to code. Well, we'll just teach all these miners, these coal miners, I believe they were coal miners, how to code, and then they can all get coding jobs. Oh, that's a great idea, because a 55-year-old man who's worked his entire life in a coal mine, now all of a sudden he wants to learn how to code. So what do? There's a sweet spot in there somewhere. Learn how to monetize it. I think a lot of people take for granted what they know. We all tend to assume that just because I know it, you probably know it too. Or even if you don't know it as well as I do, you at least know it. That is not the case, my friends. I'm telling you point blank. If you're good at something, you need to figure out how to start teaching it to somebody now. And build that out in such a way that you're developing the client base first, and then monetize it on the back end. It doesn't all have to be about revenue up front. But get known as that guy that knows all about nixtamalization, or the guy that maybe it's guided hunts. You're really good at hunting, or whatever. Like whatever your thing is, figure it out. And that's one way. It's not the only way, but that's one way. But I really think we need to be as far away from this bullcrap system as possible. UBI, I think, is soft slavery. It's that old that sign at the national parks. Please don't feed the animals; they'll become dependent. By the way, here's your check this month. And that's tough. It's 52% of Americans receive some form of government assistance, and 87% of all statistics are made up on the spot. I believe it's 52%. And I'm not judging anybody for that. But I'm saying that sooner or later, if we front load everybody who's receiving checks, knowing that these checks are going to become worth less and less and less as we continue to digitize money, and it all becomes just one and zeros, and then that turns into credits, which will likely be tied to your social credit like we're seeing in China right now. I don't want your UBI. I don't want to be dependent upon that check coming every month, because it's probably going to stop coming at some point. So there's got to be a way, even if it's just grueling. You got to grind. Right now for the next 3 years, you got to grind to make it happen. What you guys don't see here, you don't see the backstory of us getting here. You don't see the years of grinding to have the money to make this happen. Just the years of just literal blood, sweat, and tears of making stuff happen. The day-to-day grind of doing business and making things happen. You got to make things happen. And I think you need to make things happen to separate yourself from this beast of a system as possible. Because I see UBI as soft slavery. Now, what do you do? What do you do? My job got automated. What do I do? If you have a community of like-minded people, I think there's going to be more and more communities forming. Like somebody has a piece of land, people come onto the land, you have an agreement, everybody works it together, we all meet our own basic needs. And I'm not saying communism or even collectivism. I'm saying it's voluntarianism. Here's my deal with you. You tend my sheep 4 hours a day or whatever, and I'll feed you 3 squares and put a roof over your head. What you do after that, that's on you. Again, you're probably going to need food to do that with. So how's that going to work? But there's not enough money, in my opinion, to pay everybody to not work. There's probably not enough money to pay 10% of the population to not work without greatly devaluating that money even further. And then, how many people, I mean, I was this guy for a long time. Your identity is wrapped up in what you do. Well, if what you do is nothing, but you still get a check for it, think about there's going to be this huge identitarian crisis for a huge swath of the population going, I don't even know who I am anymore. I used to be a school teacher, but they automated my job away. Now what? I used to drive a Volvo every day for work, a big, 78,000 pound GVW Volvo, pulling 53-foot reefer trailers, and now I don't do that anymore. What do I do? I'm lost. So I don't know. I don't have answers for everything. I do think it's a major concern. I don't think UBI is the answer, and I do think that we're going to have to be really creative in figuring out how do you earn a living. Earn a living. And right now, the economy works-ish well enough that you can be engaged entirely in specialized labor all day. I do one thing. I'm a truck driver. I do one thing. I'm a third grade teacher, or I'm an accountant, or I, push a broom, or whatever. I work I'm a nuclear engineer, or blah, blah, blah. I think sooner or later that's going to turn into I push broom Tuesday mornings. And then when I'm not doing that, I teach third grade class 12 hours a week. And then sometimes I drive the dump truck when we need a dump truck. And I also know a little bit about operating, so I do that. And I've been known to fell the occasional tree for a pan of cornbread and yada, 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 right? And so it's a collection of skills, not just one skill. And I do think that while specialized labor will continue to play, the more you remove the monetary incentive for specialized labor, the less of it there will be. So, but I'm not an economist. Comments back on just for a hot minute. It's Chasing Life's birthday, everybody. Jack of all trades will be your profession. I agree. Self-sustaining livestock is impossible. Now, Jay Johns is here. Read Fate of Empires. Exactly. Now that we're so far down the road of breeding for weight. No, Mike, there's lots of heritage breeds out there, dude. When you have so much food stored up, how to rotate the food fast enough in order to not lose the food. You store a year of pantry goods or 18 months of pantry goods, and you pull from the front, stock in the back. Everything else you store long-term grains, and then you get to the point where you can produce. Finding those skills people don't want to do. Can you start Monday? What's up, brother? Yeah, I might. You know what? We should hang out one day. You're close enough. I know how to run a saw and equipment. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. I'll buy a pair of chaps in between now and then, question mark. This is good information. I'm just learning. And then the comments went. And you have my family's attention as well. I'm glad to hear that. Tanya, I'm glad to hear that. Hey, Bear, what's good? And how about off-the-grid solar panels? Another talk for another time. You're welcome, Chasing Life. I'll eat the pizza. No, your question was fitness, Legionary 9. You don't get the pizza. And if we're going to get a pizza, we're splitting it. Okay? Down the middle. White pizza? We should make some homemade white pizza. Yeah, brother, we should definitely do that, man. I'll come, we'll kick some timber around. I'm on the toilet right now. Thank you, Nathan. That's cool. I'm not. Or am I? Somebody said diatomaceous, sir. Omega needs to go. Where is he? Okay, remove. Cool. Animal fat soap. How can I learn to make it? By doing. Google it, then do it. Yo, Patriot, you got bandwidth to police the crowd for a hot minute? Struggle prepper. Greetings from North Dakota. Patriot Plumber, you got bandwidth to be a moderator for the evening for a hot minute? James Cipriano? No, James is cool. James, what's up, James? All right, stand by, Patriot. I'm trying to keep up. Watch this. There you go. Now you got a blue wrench. David McGregor, what's going on, man? Upstate New York in the house. Run! Run. Hello from Massachusetts. Western Massachusetts. Probably, what's that, the Allagash? Is that what that's called? The Allagash? The swamp with all those giant freaking moose? This is what a moose looks like, by the way. That's my moose impression. Evening, Ken. So, all right. We got one more question to get to, and then we'll open it up to the room. What's up from Arizona? Killeen, Texas. Man, I've been there. North Central Wisconsin, Minnesota, Southern California. I love the Scriptures Bible too. South Jersey. Oh, no. Western? At least West Jersey? Or just South Jersey? Ohio, New Mexico. I'm pissed off, Moose Bear. Arizona, Nevada, Ta Wolf. Yeah, that's not a word, but you're doing good. We're Arizona, Nevada, Ta. That is next to him. It's almost like Arklatexa Arizona, Nevada, Ta. There you go. Arizona, Nevada, Ta. Arizona, Nevada, Ta. Perfect. You're welcome, Music Well. All right. Philly. I wish it was PHI knife hand and tool, but that's okay. $5? Who don't give me $5? Bless you, Eric. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Okay. So here we go. Yeah, I figured Arklatexa did. Permethrin, DOD method of fabric treating. I don't love permethrin. Kentucky, $5 make you holler. All right, guys. Sarah Calabro. I would buy. That's like a good real estate name. Hello, I'm Sarah Calabro. Would you like to buy a house? See. Okay. All right. Ryan A. asked, what to do after you bust your IFAC out, right? So somebody gets hit. Oh. Now what do? We got them stabilized. We did the things. I renovate houses, actually. You should get into real estate. I'm telling you, Sarah Calabro, I would buy houses from you. The branding is too easy. Buy a house from Sarah Calabro. Right? With the hand? Okay. Cool. McAllen. I've been there. All right, so you need, here's what we're doing. Take the IFAC from the guy you saved. Okay. Doing the commenty thing for a minute. Okay. First of all, IFACs. Depending on who you ask, the I is either for improved or individual. If you ask me, it's individual first aid kit. Meaning that the one that's on you, like your IFAC, like right here, this is to be used on me. If I need it, here it is. By the way, somebody asked about cat tourniquets. Yeah. Yep. Big fan. Here's two more, okay? Not staged. So, IFAC is for the person who is injured. You take that kit off of them in case you get injured as well. You still have your kit intact on you. Because, yah forbid, you get hit and you need chest seals, but your chest seals are on your brother who, wasn't wearing armor when he should have been, which chest rig, so I'm just as guilty as the next guy. But here's the deal, right? You keep your kit intact and you use the kit on the person who is down. That's how the IFAC works. Next, after they're stabilized, if you do know TCCC, if you are skilled in care under fire, if you do know all of those things and you've done those things and the person is still with us, praise the Father, they're still with us. Now what? Okay, step one of care under fire is establish firepower superiority, right? Get their heads down so that somebody, multiple somebodies preferably, can come up, remove the casualty away from the situation, and then either we fold in to take their place, or we all do a hot extract and we're out. We're going, okay? Or whatever, depends. Now what? Get them to an aid station. Most of us, the vast majority of us, don't know enough about how the human body works to actually put somebody back together. We can stabilize them, then what? So in Texas, in the MAG in Texas, the Mutual Assistance Group, somebody asked me, what does MAG stand for? Mutual Assistance Group. And somebody threw us another $5 bill. Thank you. I don't know who that was because I didn't see it, but thank you very much. You get a knife hand. So in Texas, we had a chiropractor, we had a general practitioner, we had an OB/GYN. Now, all three of these people are legit medical doctors. Chiropractors go through, I think it's 8 years of school. They do 4 years of just general medicine, then 4 years of chiropractic. And then we had a general practitioner, then an OB/GYN, and then we had an ER nurse and an RN, I believe. Yeah, an RN. So we had 5 people, in addition to a lot of former military guys that understood care under fire, TCCC, combat medicine. So our plan was the people that know all of the medical things, as much as possible, are not up here doing this. They are not our assaulters. They are in the rear. They are the auxiliary. We're not putting those people in harm's way because they have a wealth of information that will literally save lives. So you need to have protocols established and ideally have people like that in your group that know how to do those things. I mean, even veterinarians, man, veterinarians are priceless people. I always wanted a vet in a group, never made it. It just never happened. But priceless people, because it's a bleeder's a bleeder. Cutting skin and stitching it back up again, it's the same, right? It's the anatomy's different, but it all plays, right? It's all kind of the same thing. So you need an aid station, and you need to know where the aid station is, and mission planning matters as well. This is a huge part of it. The what if, war game, the what happens if we get into a bad spot and somebody gets hit? How are we getting back out of here again? Who does what? Okay, who's responsible for who? The term battle buddy, while borderline homosexual in my estimation, it makes sense, right? Nobody goes, alone, right? You always have a guy with you. That's your buddy, or that's your swim buddy, or that's your whatever, okay? That's your guy, that's your teammate. So he gets hit, guess who's immediately responsible for him? I get hit, guess who he's immediately responsible for? Me. So you need to have, but now what? Where are we going? What's the protocol? Okay, call it in. Bear is down. Bear is hit. Blah, blah, blah. Center mass, it's not looking good. I need backup now. I'm at this pause, yada, yada, yada. So there's a lot of this plays a lot more than just doing the prepper things. Which is why I think it's a really bad idea for preppers to get into borderline combat situations, because there's a lot of stuff there that the vast majority of people don't know. Doesn't mean you shouldn't train up on that. You should, but you don't want to get into a situation where you have to patch your buddy up so he doesn't die. Avoid that fight. To the best of your ability, avoid that fight, okay? Aid stations. Where are we going and who's there? Preferably somebody with some medical experience, whoever the most qualified person is, and ideally at least 2 assistants to be extra set of hands, because you don't want your most valuable player boiling water, dressing minor wounds, checking vital signs, right? You need them with their skill and dexterity and their tactile, visceral skills doing the things, right? Suturing people and cauterizing bleeders and putting people back together and assessing the victim and oh no, they're going into shock, get me a Mylar blanket, so forth, so on. Okay, so they need help there as well. And then at the aid station, you need all the things, like the tools and materials that you need. One of the questions on the commenty part on the community section was, how much do I need to treat a gunshot wound just in materials? About a blue tote's worth of tape, gauze, and gloves. About 1 blue tote's worth of tape, gauze, and gloves. At least a 5-gallon bucket's worth. we don't think about wound care near enough, because right now we live in, last mile and just in time logistics, that you need more 5x9s. Amazon will have them here in 2 days. Free prime shipping. I'm out of 4x4s. Click. No, I'm not. They'll be here tomorrow. It's a non-issue. But you have to think about what happens when those logistics go away. One gunshot wound will eat a case of 4x4s over the the longevity, the entirety of that wound healing. One gunshot wound in a fleshy part of your body, like right here, right, or here. I'm not gonna put my leg up. I'm not wearing pants again. So, but just suffice it to say, gauze, tape, gloves. How many should you have? All of them. Like all of them. I buy cases of gloves repeatedly. I buy my tape by the case. I buy gauze by the case. And somebody posted in Patreon in the community section a phenomenal resource. I think it's called Shop Vet Med. It's either Shop Vet Med or Shop Med Vet, but I think it's shopvetmed.com. I was on there looking at 5x9s, gauze, and I was like, oh, $38, that's not bad. I wonder how many. 400 in a case. Yes, I'll take one of those, right? Like, their case prices on stuff is tremendous. They have wound care kits, 2 strings of sutures, which is like 12 stitches, and all the wound prep and the disposable scalpel for debriding and the disinfectant and the gauze and the cling and the blah, 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 set up in a tray. I think they were $22. I'm like, a damn pack of sutures is $12, like for 6. So why not? So Shop Vet Med, get all the things. And even if you don't know how to use the things, you should have the things. Don't use them if you don't know how to use them, but ideally have them available, that if somebody comes along that does know how to use them, you have them. And then basic trauma medicine is basic trauma medicine. Stop the bleeding. Stop the bleeding. Cover the wound. Disinfect. One of the things that you should have in your IFAC, like here's an IFAC. Again, here's another one. Sojourn gear. Look at this guy's stitching. Phenomenal. By hand, guys. By hand. Look at this. Brother Cody is beast mode. And look, these tie at the bottom. Isn't that cool? So your snaps can't come undone. Like, anybody ever, been on range day or crawling through the woods or something, and the snap on your molly comes undone? You're like, ugh, pouch is flopping, and sucks. So anyway, what were we talking about? Combat medicine, Brother Cody, IFACs. Oh, yeah. In your IFAC, you should have your combat med kit. Broad spectrum antibiotic, 1,000-ish milligrams of Advil, and I think 200 milligrams, 250 milligrams of aspirin at a bare minimum, right? And mostly like 1,000 milligrams of Keflex or something like that, so that you can immediately take that, and it'll take the edge off the pain. It's not morphine. But listen, if you get morphine, now I got to take your rifle from you, okay? So it's not morphine. It's not narcotic either. And you get that broad spectrum antibiotic in you ASAP. And that right there will help you ideally not get an infection, right? If you can take it immediately, right? And so, what do you do after you have to bust out your IFAC and you have your care under fire? You remove the casualty to the aid station, and then somebody who's more qualified treats them. And the short answer is, I'm not the more qualified person. I know enough to put you back together again, but man, if you're hit bad, the best that I can hope for is to stabilize you. And that's what I got. And that's why I recruited people who were more advanced than I am in that, because that's not my skill set. And that's a lifelong skill set. People dedicate their entire lives into to knowing how to put people back together again. And I haven't. It's not my jam. I love it. I think it's really cool. I know a lot about anatomy. I love studying medicine, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not even a nurse. Okay, so, and nothing against nurses, but I'm not a nurse, man. I can't. There's very little. If I walked into an ER right now, I could stabilize somebody. I could deal with blunt force trauma. I could at least stop some bleeding, right? There's a few things I could do. I could take some vitals, but I'm not the guy you want to see when your life is on the line. So you need to find those people and make friends with them, like yesterday. So cool. Paramedics too. Paramedics, firefighters, doctors, nurses, combat medics. Your quad zeros and yeah, find them, know them. Anybody who's got the name Doc in their name, hang out with those people. Okay, cool. Free for all live chat. Send it. Rub some dirt on it. Roger that, Shiloh. I should have been a doctor. Me too. Hit that thumbs up. Okay. I'm from Christchurch. Do you think we're screwed? I think it's time to move, Rebecca. I'm going cross-eyed. Yeah, man. It's so enjoyable, isn't it? I used crazy glue on someone with psoriasis. I'm sure they loved that. That was a good time. Echo 5 Victor. Where do you get your wheat? Sometimes the internet, sometimes the feed store. He needs a helper. Aaron James. Roger that. Or maybe let's just not do the trolley things. Go to your local fire department and get some training. That's exactly right, Aaron. Mike 184, thank you. What do you do in SHTF after you stabilize the arterial bleed? No surgery, no doctor. Remove limb and cauterize. Still high risk of fatal infection. Bro, man, that's highly dependent. That's like saying, what does a car cost? It depends entirely about the car, and everything's situational. I'm telling you, the last thing I want to do is take a limb. If I can stabilize the bleed, if I can cauterize the bleeder, I'm going to do that. Do you grow amaranth? Brandon Beck, you're welcome. Suture stapler, quick clot. P2305. Nope. Cursive 281, I have not. Tampon bandage, not the best. Nice to get that corrections officer special operations training. When is the next revolution? Within our lifetime, probably. MaxiPad is okay. Shalom, sister. Super glue for bleeders, and I cut myself with a piece of paper. Somebody did a thing. Who done did that? Spartan preparedness. Thank you, brother. For real, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Any medical resources you like to study from that you can share, bro? Okay, truth bomb. Back in the day, I had a girlfriend before I had a wife, and they were not the same person. And she was in school for massage therapy, and I stole all of her anatomy books because I paid for them anyway. So I learned a lot of anatomy from that. That was cool. There's some basic medical manuals that I have. I don't even know what they're called. Yeah, fish amoxicillin. Try to donate some money. Thank you, Keith. It's okay. Sarah Calabro. Stapler suture kit. Ever considered buying an Atlas survival shelter? Not really. I've got nothing against them. I've just never. Do you do lessons on combatives training, like weapon safety, what to do if your weapon jams? Yeah. That's more like a rifle 1, carbine 1 class. When I think combatives, I'm thinking this. All right, if we're talking about how to run one of these, this is a basic carbine class is what you're talking about. And yeah, I do that. What I don't know currently is when I do that. That will be up on the website though. Man, yeah, Where There Is No Doctor. Thank you. That's the name of one of the books. Most of my books are still in boxes. Yes, Rebecca, get out of New Zealand. Leave. Thank you, Jason Lambert. It's cool, man. Looking towards Pennsylvania as move out of Long Island. Any suggestions? I know you're not a fan of Eastern PA. Cipriano, James, Western Pennsylvania, brother. Western Pennsylvania. At Prosperity, we've done several workups for people who are all on the East Coast, and I'm not going to tell you, listen, they paid a lot of money for those workups, but here's the deal. Eastern Pennsylvania is a no-go, okay? Pennsyltucky, that's exactly right. I've been all through Pennsyltucky. Today's facts, tomorrow's opinions. I have a video on it. Just go to my channel, click on the little searchy thing, and put on chemtrails. Good night, Mason. These comments go so fast. Condor, Gen 2 Battle Belt today. Attached it right to my 511 Rush 72. Vast improvement. Glad to hear it. This is kind of off. KIA and life or death fist fight, yes or no? Fist fight. Yes or no? So let's talk about that, because that's the force continuum, right? The last thing I want to do is get into a fist fight with you. Here, in fact, I'm going to do this for a minute. Comments on slow-mo. Doesn't work, man. Okay. Fist fight. Here's the deal. The last thing I want to do, let's do this. Yeah, right there. Okay. I don't want to have to get into doing this with you, because while we're doing this, this can come out and this can be a knife or anything else, right? Or this. I like this because I can still hit you like this, and I can slash, and I can puncture wound, and I can capture wrists, and I can manipulate joints like this. So I prefer knife fighting like this. But you don't want to be... the first rule of a knife fight is you're going to get cut, okay? And so knives are here. They're at this distance, right? Or this distance. You don't want to... I don't want to get this close to you. And if I get this close to you, I'm immediately assuming that you have more than just your bare hands. So ideally, what I want is I don't want to have a conflict with you whatsoever. But let's just say hypothetically we do. I'm doing one of these. You need to get back. You need to get back now. Get back, get back, get back, get back, get back, get back. Stop, 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 stop. Bang, 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 bang. Okay? I don't want to get into this. That being said, sometimes, and I try to never be in this situation, sometimes you don't put yourself in situations where you can't put deadly force on target if you need to, okay? That's my, rule one when I walk out the house. Have deadly force available. Not that you want to use it. I don't want to use it, but if somebody makes that decision for me, I need to be able to respond in kind. Because if they're using deadly force and I don't have any, guess who wins? Those guys. And that doesn't work for this guy. Okay? So if you can't do this, okay, that means that now we're in here. So we're going to assume, I'm going to assume you have a knife or some type of, loaded fist or some puncture weapon or something. It could just be a 38 revolver. We get in close, you pull that thing out, tuck it in my ribs and just squeeze 6 times. That's a major problem. I'm dead. I'm dead. There's no coming back from that. I'm dead. Okay? Or 357, 158 grain wad cutters. I'm done. Right? And that's real. That happens. So I don't want to be up close next to you because distance is reaction time. The farther away from you I am, the more time I have to react to you. I don't want to get up close to you. But if we are, I am ending you that quick. That's what I'm doing instantly. If all we're going to do is fight, if that's it, it's come down to it, it's bare hands, we're not doing one of these, right? I'm just taking you out of the fight right now, and I'm going through you, okay? That's what I'm doing. I'm making contact, and I'm not seeing if I can knock you out here. I'm going here, going here, I'm going here, I'm going here, I'm going here, okay? Here, underneath here, in the armpit, inside the arms, here, inside the wrists. And I'm going through you. I'm stepping up. I'm going to probably hit you with one of these, hit you with one of these, put this across the bridge of your nose, move through you, grab the back of your neck, bring it to my knee, come through you, spin you around, and then I'm making space. Then I'm going, get back, get back, get back, get back, get back. So hand-to-hand combat, Please, no. But should you know how to do it? Yeah, absolutely. And then the question always becomes, well, what should you know how to do? Something. I love Krav Maga. I love Aikido when it's not just a bunch of people trying to be fancy. Real practical Aikido, like small joint manipulation, I like a lot. Muay Thai, because you're using huge muscle groups and bones. This, when you are laying that into somebody, just, that sucks. Right across the bridge of somebody's nose. I mean, you break this, most people, they're done. They're out of the fight. Their eyes are watering. They don't want anymore. So, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, striking is important. Lots of people say, well, what about grappling? What about grappling? That's a backup pistol situation for me. What if you don't have anything else? Yeah, you should know how to grapple, for sure. But I don't want to, again, I'm breaking contact. I do not want to be tied up with you. Space, distance equals reaction time. I don't want my hands on you. I don't want your hands on me. So there's Bear's dissertation on hand to hand. Live chat is back. Muay Thai and BJJ. Cool story. What's your take on armor? I don't know. I like it. These are 4s. So there you go. How's that? So, handle with care, by the way. I'm going for an eye poke, then I'm going to bite your face off. Good idea. I love that. That's going to be great for you. So, see, now I'm going to put this back in here. Crop, BJJ, don't go to the ground. Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing is, like, you think there's one opponent, you start grappling, and then the guy that you're fighting, his buddy runs up next to you and kicks you in the side of the head while you're on the ground. Now you're done. Like, space is reaction time. Get in there, devastate the person, get back out again. Don't play. Like, don't play with people. It's all cutesy and stuff, but like, I'm telling you point blank, if we're gonna get physical, if I'm wrecking you, and like I know that going into it, I'm wrecking you. There's none of this. And we're over. We're on to the next one. So, can I send you a gift? Sure. Yeah. Email me. Thank you. Hello, Sean. Make yourself a gear cross. You know, Keith, I've thought about it. I think I'm gonna. Grew up a white girl in Gary, Indiana, completely combat ready. Hydrate. This guy plays Wii tennis without the safety strap. I'm only 15 and I live in the city, but I know it's coming. So what can I do to prep? I have a video on that. Just go back channel, look for teens and college preppers. Steven Seagal. His stuff is cutesy and way too showmanship, but he's an awesome guy and very Native American in his beliefs. Good night, Nordic. Awake at 15, right? See that, Patriot? How can I not sick from the sound of bone breaking? You know what you do? So here, let's talk about that because this matters for all kinds of things. How to not get sick at the sound of bones breaking is conditioning. It's the same thing as how do I not faint at the sight of blood? How do I, whatever your thing is. It's conditioning, and that's a matter of exposure. So boil a chicken, pull the bones out of the pot, and then one by one, as you can, snap them. And the first one is going to give you goosebumps, and it's going to be like nails on a chalkboard, and you're like, son of a, I hate this. That's cool. Deep breath. Husa. Next one. Snap it. And do that until it doesn't bother you anymore. The end. Like, it's a matter of exposure, and it's that way with all things. And maybe you don't do the whole dang chicken in one sitting, right? You do one on Tuesday, and then it's next Thursday before you can think about doing another one. Okay, that's fine. But you're one step ahead of where you were. So conditioning and exposure, that's how you do all hard things. And hard is relative. What I perceive to be hard could be completely different from what you perceive to be hard. And that's cool. That's cool. It's not a challenge. It's not a competition. You're not fighting against me. You're not comparing yourself against me. You're comparing yourself against the you that you were yesterday. So as long as the you today is even just a little tiny damn modicum better than the you that you were yesterday, you win. You crush the day. Let's move on to tomorrow. Okay, so it's not a you versus me or you versus the guy next to you or whatever. It's you versus you. And so every day, forward progress. Every day, just a little bit better. We never backslide, okay? And if we have 2 days in a row that suck, then we need intervention. We need accountability. We need somebody that we love to go, hey, get off your ass. Get back at it, okay? Okay, got it. There's your thing, okay? So that's how you do that. Back to comments. Live chat. Do something different. Okay. Patriot CB. Reverend Gilbert. There we go. Going back to Florida. Brother Aaron will be there 2 April through 6 April. I will be there 10 through 12 May. You can email me. Put in the subject line hands and feet. ntxmag@gmail. November Tango X-Ray Mike Alpha Golf. And I will send you the mission profile. Accountability buddies. Great word, okay. I love it. Accountability buddies. Free Spirit Press News. You're welcome, sister. You anymore. And then you gotta worry, am I too much of a robot? Shouldn't I be a little bit more human? And that's a matter of exposure and conditioning. So sometimes you can go too far, and that's a great point. You can go too far in the other direction. That's not great. Who dropped a $20 bill? What's going on there? Adam Martin, thank you. Hi, Ethan Spicer. Shalom, brother. What's going on? Cold camping tips for SHTF. Battle buddies. No, I'm just kidding. You do you, homeboy. Corey Bonecutter, what's going on? Wool. Wool is awesome. Have a fire. If you can't have a fire, have lots of wool. Be well insulated. Phil Walter, we do that on Patreon. In fact, the giveaway this month for the $5 plus patrons is absurd. I spent $550 on this thing, dude. It's phenomenal. I can't wait. I can't wait to give it away. Jacob Schilt, what's going on, man? Camped last night in 34 degrees. Yep. What's going to happen in New Zealand? It's going to be time to move. Yeah. Yeah, layered clothes as well. Try not to sweat. That's a big deal. You don't want to sweat. You don't want that moisture against your skin. It's all the things. It's all the cold weather things. Reflective material, even just one of those emergency bivvies. You put an emergency bivvy. Now, see, the problem with the emergency bivvy is they don't breathe. But you can get, have your intermediate, have all your layers on, have your intermediate sleeping bag, and then your extreme weather sleeping bag, and then your bivvy sack around that. And then if you need to, an emergency bivvy or a Mylar blanket around that. You'll wake up sweating, man. You'll wake up sweating. Don't let your water freeze. Yeah, keep it close to your body. That's another good point. If you had to pick a stripper name for your call sign, what would it be? Bro, bear, the end. Probably like Sparkle Kitty. That's probably what I would do. Like, coming on to second stage, we have Sparkle Kitty. And then we'll get the like that, right? You have to be dramatic about it. So, Bear, B-A-R-E. That's phenomenal. Dindo nothing. Loco Lobo. I like it. Man, I'm telling you, I think the last greatest hope for humanity is the United States of America until I remember that if you read the good book, we ain't in there at the end. So I don't know. Like, I don't know what the deal is, man. I don't know. That was intimidating. I'm sorry, Legendary 9. Crushed my soul a little. Oh, I'm not going to unsee that for a while. You're welcome. Let the flannel hit the floor. That's phenomenal. Oh, man. Do I think America is a mystery of Babylon? I don't know, man. Dutchess County, New York. What's going on, man? Been there a while. Check my channel at Modern Refuge. I would love your opinion. Shoot me an email to remind me, and I will try, okay? I will try. I can't make any promises, but I will try. Yeah, you're right, Kurt. Oops. Sniper systems. What are my thoughts on sniper systems? Well, let's just go ahead. We'll riff on that for a minute, Ghost. Doing the commenty thing for a minute. So here's the deal on sniper systems. And rather than sniper systems, we're going to call them precision rifles. Okay? Precision rifles. It's the same thing that I preach everywhere else. What round should you have? If you could only have one round, what should it be? .308 Winchester. Good answer. Why? Because it's an issued round. Well, what about 6.5? Yeah, 6.5 Creedmoor is a phenomenal round. Who's issuing it? Yeah, a few agencies, just a few. It's not widespread yet. 308 is. 308 is a NATO round. Well, 7.62 by 51 millimeter NATO can be chambered in a .308 Winchester, but not vice versa. It's the opposite of 5.56, by the way. So anyway, point being, .308 for sure. Semi-automatic precision rifle or a bolt gun. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't bother me either way. I like the M40 platform, bolt guns. I like 300 Win Mag a lot. A lot. I like it a lot. But you need to have the ammunition for these things. So, and you also need to think about team guns because you really don't want to deploy Overwatch with a precision rifle by themselves. That's not a great idea. If you have to, you have to, but it's not a great idea. So what's your team rifle going to be? Who's going to be spotting for these people? Who's calling shots? Yeah, your windage was great, but your elevation sucked. You need to bring it up 3 clicks, so forth, so on, right? Who's doing that? The answer is nobody. If your shooter's calling his own shots, it can be done, but it's going to take a lot more time, right? And so it's, once again, it depends. But I have nothing against the team rifle being a semi-automatic precision rifle in .308 Winchester, and then the primary weapon precision rifle being .308, 6.5. I like 7mm. 7mm Remington Magnum is a phenomenal round. Hell, the 270. Yeah, they make some really good rounds for 270. .308, 300 Win Mag, 338 Lapua. That's a great gun. Great round. Savage 110 and 338. That'll get the job done. So, maybe it's a light 50. Who knows? But the point is, should you have those systems? Yeah, if you have somebody who knows how to use them. You can go to Walmart and buy a .308 Savage Axis with a 3-9 throwaway scope on it for $350. And that Savage Axis will shoot 1 MOA from Walmart. And, Frank from the shop can hit a deer in its vitals at 400 yards with that weapon. Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Do you need to drop $4,000 on a precision rifle in glass? No, you don't need to. But a lot of guys are looking for permission to. You don't understand. I have to buy this weapon because in case the zombie hordes come over this ridge, we have to have a way to do it. This gun will print at 500, no problem. I mean, We can engage this beer can repeatedly at 500. If I'm doing my job, it'll do its job. And this is a 2 to 7 vortex. So, and then the glass snobs are like, you're supposed to be high speed tactical and you're running a vortex. Buy me a Leopold, bro. I love Leopold, and I own lots of weapons that have Leopolds on them, but I'm not dropping $1,000 on a piece of glass. At least not right now. So, point being, but that's only a 5.56. But you press a recce style rifle like that into the team gun while the primary weapon is a 308 or 300 Win Mag, I think you're good. But I really like 308, not because it's the best round, but because it's ubiquitous. It's everywhere. 6 Creedmoor or 6.5 Creedmoors, great round. Great round. 300 Win Mag, great round. I think any of those three would serve you well. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having a Savage Axis or a Ruger American or whatever else, a Weatherby Vanguard or whatever in 270 that you can hit with, that you can hit with. But I'd be very careful about deploying Overwatch in a static position by themselves. Just because their efficacy is going to be less than ideal. So, and you really don't want them toting 2 weapons either. You don't want them having, their long gun and an M4, says me. Maybe if the mission profile requires it, but I would much rather that wasn't the case. So that's my thoughts on that kind of in a nutshell, in a little tiny thimble full of tease ideas about long range. I hit the button. I hit the wrong button. There we go. Live chat. So, Mark, AR-10, Armalite clone. Yeah, AR-10s are cool. I like them. What up, David Snow? I like them. In Central Texas, when SHTF, which direction would you go, north or south? Not south. I'd probably go northwest, truthfully. I'd get up to the Panhandle, then get into Oklahoma and New Mexico. Maybe even Colorado, the foothills, but I wouldn't go due north. You can't go east because there's Gulf. I wouldn't go south because there's a little thing called the cartels down there. Depending on where you are in Central Texas, going west is going to put you into the cartels as well. So I would go northwest. That's what I would do. How do you like the 2.7? James is an AK guy. Where to go in Pennsylvania? Where in Pennsylvania? What are your EDC or SHTF shoes? You guys are going to laugh at this. I just pulled one off. I'm literally looking to replace these boots right now. These boots have been in service. Look at these things. Look at them. Look, there's pine needles sticking out of them. These things have been in service since 2008. Dirt and mud all over them. Gore-Tex. And look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So, I love these boots. These were Cabela's. These are Cabela's. See? Cabela's. But Cabela's stopped making these, which is why I haven't replaced them yet. So, typically I wear boots. So, those kinds of boots as well. Where do you go from Chicago? Just moved now. So, yeah, thanks, Eddie. Yeah, they're phenomenal boots. Hey, hold on. Here's another pair of boots. Stand by. These are my login boots. One pair of them. As you can see, they're steel toe. As you can see, I've been known to work for a living. Lots of people think that this internet thing's like an anomaly and that I just somehow got semi-famous on the internet. Sweat of my brow, blood of my hands, I've earned a living. So, and these are Chippewas. And I like them. Yep. So, you can see, worn them smooth. So, yeah, they're good boots. So I like them. Stand by. Thought I had another pair of boots around here somewhere, but either I brought them in the house or the rats ate them or something. Oh, they're up there on a shelf, whatever. So, yeah, man. Primary arms 1 to 6, yep. So, I like Merrill's, Altamas, Danners. How can you prep for an EMP as a truck driver? Get good at walking. And I don't mean that facetiously. Get good at walking. Bates, yeah. Hobie 909. Every one of you guys needs to go watch Hobie 909. Boots either cry or cheer when Bear buys them. Yeah, I wear them out, dude. Woohoo! What's up, Matthew Goza? Delicious and nutritious. Mark Chase is here too. South of Yellowstone, what's going on? That's the only way, brother. Same old same. Roger that. Keystone, no. Can you imagine? I'm going to call him up and be like, listen here, Keystone. Y'all need to send me a pallet of that there fake beer like ASAP because I'm kind of famous on the internet and I've just been giving you all kinds of free advertising here in the last couple of weeks. And I'm just telling you, you owe me money. So you either need to start sponsorifying this here channel or just hook it up with a pallet of these tall boys right here. You hear? Now. I mean right now. Right? Because that's what you sound like when you, I don't know. Heineken and then this? Is that what you did? I don't know. Do you is this how you drink Heineken? That's how I would drink it. Twisted tea, yo. Dew Claw, Roger. Dry Fire Faith is here. Hey, shalom, brother. Where is you? I didn't see him. Brenda Spicer's here. What's going on? Everybody's here. Bear, Modelo, or Corona? Bro, Corona. And I know you're a lady. I think you're... Well, Leslie can be a man's name. Diatomaceous earth for corn and wheat storage. A little dusting is fine. Just a little dusting. But the dietary diatomaceous earth. Because there's food grade diatomaceous earth and then there's not food grade. Okay? Excuse me. With a lime. Yep. Check Keelan, what's up, man? Yeah, I unplugged mine. And it also sounded like I'm a man. Glad to hear it. So I'll continue to call you brother then, bro. I also unplugged mine because it sounded like my liver, because it had that backup alarm like the dump trucks have. Eep, 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 eep. Or when you get an alert when you're in the, diatomaceous earth will mess up your guts if you eat the stuff that's not for humans to eat and you eat too much of it. I'm sorry, Leslie. Can we hug it out? Here, we'll hug it out. Okay, there we go. Bring it in. Jaeger and Red Bull. Roger. Do you know for a while I had a Jaeger sponsorship when I used to play drums back in the day? Miller's Croft, dude. I am jealous of you. Great for your guts and immune system. Aname. I kind of want to hug right now. 300 blackout. If you're going to chop the barrel and shoot suppressed inside of 200 meters and you have lots of money to feed it, sure. Otherwise, range toy. There, Bear has spoken. How's your son with the new 22? Oh, he loves it. Cowgirl. Loves it. We actually shot some video of him shooting for the first time ever, and the smile he had on his face was the exact same smile that I had on my face when I shot this one for the first time. So, yeah, he had a blast. He loved it. So, I don't know who Kim Clemens Prophecy is. And short answer, probably not. Probably not. But I don't know. Never heard of it. So, Lester Nichols, shalom, brother. How are you? Good to see you, man. That's phenomenal. Do you grow potatoes? Yes, love them. AR pistols, thoughts? Have a video on it on Patreon. Long and short, yes-ish. I like an AR pistol a lot more than I like a pistol caliber carbine. I like that gun behind me more than I like both of them. So, glad to hear it, brother. Longest I've ever been in one is 15 minutes. Justin Lay, what's going on, man? Ruth Stout gardening. Yeah, that's what we're doing. A portion of that is what we're doing. We're also tilling up another huge portion, hopefully tomorrow. Growing hops, bless you. How do you get user IDs to highlight when responding to someone? I have no idea, brother. Introducing a 5-year-old to weapons, any recommendations beyond safety? Well, yeah, obviously store the magazines and the ammunition away from the weapons because 5-year-olds get curious. 22s is a great place to start. I started both of my kids on 22s. Make sure they have adequate hearing protection. Give them an easy target, like 10 to 15 yards away. Help them hold it. Like, you need the support, like, underneath here for them. Like, help them hold it because most of them don't have the upper body strength to shoulder a rifle. So help them hold it so that they can line up the sights or shoot from a bench. Rascal 22 is a great one. I think they're like, what, $130 right now, the Rascal? Sometimes you can find them for 99-ish. Yeah, and start with 22. And, yeah. What tattoos do you have? All of them. Both single shot 410s. That was the first gun I ever got in the 7. Yep, love it. 7.62 by 39 ARs. What do I think of them? Why? Get an AK. Get an AK. Awesome, Hobie. Thoughts on the FN57 round? Again, if you can afford to feed that thing and you can make a good argument as to why you're carrying that and not a 9mm with 147 grain jacketed hollow points or a 45 with 185 grain plus Ps or anything else, maybe. But I think it's a toy. I think it definitely has wonderful capability. But listen, most people, you can't even buy the SS-109 penetrator rounds for it. So why have it? Okay? Unless you already have some, then that makes sense. So I use a Nerf gun for SHTF. Cool, man. Palmetto has a high point 9mm carbine. It's a lot of fun. Just needs a 1,000-round mag. Roger that. Common parts in USA. Yeah, NWA Prepper. Shalom, brother. Slow and fat wins sometimes. That's exactly right, Ronald Miller. Sometimes slow and fat wins the race. That's 45. I love it, man. What about the Springfield? What about it, man? Here's the thing. I don't love 40. I don't hate 40, but I don't own any 40. And I don't plan on owning any 40. Just because ballistically, I'd rather have a 9mm with a higher rounds count and less felt recoil, or a 45 with slightly better ballistics and down one round from a 40. Says me. So, I'm not a big fan of the 40, but if you like it, get it. And get the gun that fits your hand. That's what I would tell you to do. Get the gun that fits your hand. There's so many excellent weapons today. It doesn't matter, really, says me. And I like Glocks. Because they're just too easy. They're the original point and click interface. Like, they're too easy. But whatever fits your hand and you can shoot well, that's the gun you get. Jesus saves. Shalom. Camp Pendleton. Yeah, Houston is a bad deal, man. 38 Super. Yeah, if you can afford to feed it. 1911 thoughts. They're fun. I like them. They're heavy. They're rounds limited, but they're very good guns. But they're also, listen, it's a century-old technology. Okay. But that being said, I do know a guy that might own a pair of serialized Power Ordnance P14s. But they're a lot of fun. I like them. I like them a lot. Yeah, try to keep caliber types the same throughout your tribe. Exactly. Um, what would be your choice of AR-15 brands to stay away from? Um, if you're buying one right now, they're all pretty dang good. I mean, we had a guy bought a Palmetto State, and I thought it was going to be, a throwaway rifle. It's one of the tighter rifles I've seen. Really good. Ruger makes a good rifle. They're not great, but they're good. The DPMS Oracle is great. For $500, it's a great weapon. Wyndham Weaponry, decent rifle. I mean, they're all. I tell you what I tell everybody. You want to buy a rifle that you're never going to have to worry about, buy a Colt 6920. And even then, it'll still have some issues, but you'll have a Colt 6920. So there you go. Hello from the Palmetto State. Shalom. MP15 Sport. There's nothing wrong with that. That gun will chug all day. No dust protector. Look, dude. Look. What's mine doing right now? Nothing. I mean, the moment you do this, it comes forward. I mean, come on. So, and it doesn't have a forward assist. Let's be honest, man. I've used this forward assist, I think, twice. And I could have just stripped around and let the bolt fly again. So, get up there, you dirty. All right, there we go. Still, we're an hour and a half in. There's still 276 people here. Don't y'all have better stuff to do? How far do you think is too far for people to live to be part of a prepper group? It depends on what you want the group to do. We have people in our mag that are up to 3 hours away from us in every direction. But that being said, the idea with the mag is that we can all get together, edify and encourage each other, educate people, send them home again so they can go develop their teams where they are. So I think on your team, everybody should be able to. We love you too, Okie Storm Chaser. On your team, everybody should be able to walk to each other's house if the world ends. Okay. As far as your mag, that's kind of up to you. So I think you should be able to drive to each other's houses without, you should be able to get back there and back in a day. Okay. Anything more than that? I'm working. Roger that, plumber. Thank you, man. If you got to go, you got to go. Palmetto, what's going on? What is the meaning of shalom? It's like, it means peace, but it's like hello and goodbye. It's like aloha. Are there any readiness channels for us gals? Go check out my wife's channel, Hommy Biscuits, HOMMY Biscuits. So, not a Palmetto, you're looking at it, man. What's up with you? What do you think of Tennessee, taking the family there within a year? Aloha Snack Bar, yeah. From what I know of Tennessee, there's good people there, but it's like everywhere else. There's bad people there too. So, I love Hami too, man. Do you think a food shortage is imminent? Yes, I absolutely do, and I am acting like it. I am going out of my way to just stack food to the rafters. Yes, I do think it's imminent. $90. Where do I find like-minded people? Viking Preparedness Patreon page in the community section. You got to go to where the people are. You know, you want people who are into preparedness, go to where the preparedness things are. Go to meetups. You know, if you're in Arkansas, get on the APN, the Arkansas Preparedness Network. Yeah, 119 as a fellowship minder. All right, here says Patriot Plumber. We have a lot of people at Patreon now. The Bear Patreon, like 650-ish. It's amazing. Reddit, probably. Hobie did this. So, do you think a grid down thing will happen or excessive rule of thought thing? Yeah, I think they're both possible. I think the grid is just a matter of time, truthfully. Trying to start a mag in the panhandle of Texas. I think you should. I really do think you should. And here's the thing, right? If you can't find a group, start one. If you can't find a group, start one. Like it's not easy, but it's not hard. It's just a thing. It's just one more thing you do. I know nothing about the American Tactical AR-15. Never held one. What do you think about the rear plate carrier? I don't know what you mean by that. This like the front plate, the back plate. So I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. Guys, I'm gonna get off here in a hot few minutes. Marfugel. Is the back plate worth it? Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So look, front plate, back plate. Like they're in there. Yeah, if we popular vote, we'll see. Dude, politics is screwed anyway. So an hour and a half, man. Good night, brother. Tell us a story about leg holsters, Uncle Bear. So there's one time I was there on the range and I was trying to draw all quick like to impress some of these cuties that were standing there on the range all giggling and ha 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 ha. And so I drew my sidearm and it quick in a hurry and I promptly put a 185 grain hollow point plus P directly through my femoral artery and out the bottom of my right foot, and I screamed like a little girl and I rolled around and died. That's my leg holster story. Go to sleep, brother. You don't want my opinion on Canadian prepper. Nobody cares about that. Reality, survival, and prepping. What's going on? The lower the drop in the leg holster, the lower amount of training they have. Amen. So that's a good point. I run mine directly below my belt line. So if my belt line sits here, the top of my pistol sits right at the top of my belt line. So that's where I run mine. There is something to be said as far as, see, the reason the drop leg holster came about in the first place was because there were interferences with all the different line 1, line 2, line 3 gear. So they had to move it out of the way. But then everybody started running slick rigs on their line 2, but they kept the lower holster because they wanted to look tactical. So right at the belt line, exactly. Bring pie, you got it. Well, guys, listen, I gotta hop off of here. I gotta go kiss my wife, tuck my kids in bed, do all the things. I really appreciate you guys being here. Like, truthfully, couldn't do it without you guys. You guys are awesome. It's a blessing that my life looks the way that it does, and that is in large part because of you guys. So thank you. Thank you guys very much. And keep it between the lines. Have a wonderful evening. If anybody's interested in the Florida stuff, NTX Mag November Tango X-Ray Mike Alpha Golf at Gmail. Subject line is hands and feet. And then if you're interested about the bear facts that are coming up, I'm going to have that live and hopefully in a couple of weeks. So it's going to be awesome. And then everything else is at bearindependent.com and, you know, the Patreon things and the blah, blah, blahs. So thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I love you guys.